Hello friends and welcome to Smart Coach. Today the lesson that I am taking is the partition of Bengal and the consequence, that is Swadeshi movement. Okay, now consider this. This is one of the most important aspect of modern Indian history. Therefore, I am taking this video in two parts. Okay, in the first part, I will deal with the partition of Bengal, and then we will move on to the Swadeshi movement part. Okay, and consider this again that in the partition of Bengal, we will have to learn something about Lord Curzon, his administration, and then moving on, while discussing the Swadeshi movement that was the consequence of the partition of Bengal, we will also have to talk or understand briefly the tussle that came to be between the moderate faction of the Congress and the extremist faction of the Congress. Now, there is a separate video for the moderates and extremists in the split, that is the Surat split of 1907. However, even while studying the partition of Bengal and the Swadeshi movement, you will have to have some kind of idea. So, before going through the partition of Bengal and Swadeshi movement, you see, just have an idea about the modalities through which the moderates used to conduct their business, that is their agitation work, and how the extremists differed from that. Of course, I will give you a background while teaching this lesson also. Okay, now let us move forward and let us see what the partition of Bengal is. Okay, now, as far as the partition of Bengal is concerned, most of you who are studying history, or most of you who have taken up history as your optional subject, you will understand that it took place under the viceroyalty of Lord Curzon. Alright. He has been defiled throughout history, throughout modern Indian history, and many things have been written about his reign as the Viceroy of India. However, we have to also understand that the first part of his viceroyalty, that is up until 1903, okay, the first part of his viceroyalty was quite liberal, because we see that he passed the Punjab Land Alienation Act, okay, Punjab Land Alienation Act. Okay, now this act was supposed to help you see the peasants from being evicted from their lands. Okay, apart from this, he also revised the Famine Code. All right, this was also a populist act, or a popular act, which was meant to protect those areas which were afflicted by famines. Okay, now previous definitions of famine were a little bit more conservative. However, he relaxed. Lord Curzon, during this revision, the famine code was a little bit more relaxed, so that government assistance could be provided to areas which were affected by famine. All right, and then going forward, he also did some educational ventures. Okay, such as the establishment of an agricultural research university in Delhi. All right. So, all of these things, looking at all of these previous legislations which were made during the viceroyalty of Lord Curzon, it is difficult to gauge why right after 1903, his reign or his rule as Viceroy of India, it became so unpopular. And the answer to this is the partition of Bengal. And the partition of Bengal was announced in July of 1905. Okay, it was announced in July of 1905. Okay, and it caused a huge outcry in Bengal. Okay, it caused a huge outcry among the people who were living in Bengal, because it was supposed to divide Bengal within two parts. Okay, one part which will be the western part of Bengal. Okay, western Bengal, and the second part will be eastern Bengal, East Bengal, and Assam. Okay. Now, Calcutta, which was the capital of Bengal province, now the capital of East Bengal and Assam will become Dhaka. Okay, the former Mughal capital of Bengal. Okay, Dhaka will become the capital of East Bengal and Assam. This was what was being ruled, okay. And this East Bengal and Assam will include areas of Manipur, will include areas of Assam, will include the eastern part of Bengal, will also include, you see, Chittagong, okay. These areas are going to be included in East Bengal and Assam, and then Western Bengal will be getting separated, okay. Now the people started asking the question, okay, why not separate the Bengal, you see, area of Bengal in linguistic provinces, okay, and why do it in religious, you see, along religious lines, okay. Why do it along religious lines, and why not do it in linguistic basis, okay. The eastern part of Bengal, in the eastern part of Bengal, you see, Muslims or the Muslim community was in a majority, and therefore eastern part contained, you see, Muslim majority, while the western part will contain a Hindu majority. Why was this so? And this is the chief, you see, criticism of the partition of Bengal. However, the reason provided by the British administration was that, you see, the reason which was the official, which was going to be the official reason behind the partition of Bengal was that with a population of 78 million, okay, and a huge territory which also included Bihar, Orissa and Assam, all right, with this huge territory, Bengal was ungovernable, or it had become ungovernable, okay, ungovernable, and therefore a partition was needed so that it could be, you see, sliced down into manageable parts. Previously, for Assam, a chief commissioner had been established, an office of the chief commissioner, who used to, you see, look after the, you see, administration of Assam. However, this was deemed to be insufficient, okay, this was deemed to be insufficient, sorry, and therefore a new province was to be created, or a new, you see, administrative division was to be made. And with this administrative division, a lieutenant governor, okay, lieutenant governor was to be appointed. Consequently, the lieutenant governor for Assam was Fuller, okay, East Bengal and Assam, all right. So a lieutenant governor was to be appointed, and he was to be, you see, he was to be provided with a legislative, along with which he would be able to, you see, administer the province of East Bengal and Assam. Another reason which was given for the partition of Assam, for the partition of Bengal, was that, you see, it would provide economic impetus to the neglected areas of eastern part of Bengal. Eastern part of Bengal was administratively neglected, also it was economically neglected, and this partition would provide streamlined administration and streamlined, you see, economic policies for the eastern part. This was the, you see, official reason given. However, the nationalists argue that, you see, Bihar and Orissa could also have been separated from Bengal, okay, if you want to create manageable parts, okay, and there were many other, you see, arguments that were given, that, you see, the chief reason behind the partition of Bengal was to weaken the nationalist spirit, okay, and nationalist historians also argue that, you see, even if the initial thrust towards the partition of Bengal was really these administrative and economic motives, okay, the chief motive later on became, you see, the weakening of nationalist movement, okay. So this was, you see, this also, the nationalist historians also argue that this was the chief reason why, you see, Bengal was partitioned, and this became the reason why Bengal, you see, came to be separated along, you see, Hindu-Muslim lines, okay, lines of community, all right. And one argument which buttresses, or one, you see, event which buttresses this argument, that is, which provides solidity to this argument that it was actually part of the divide and rule policy, is the formation of the Muslim League. Now, the reason behind the formation of the Muslim League was also the, you see, also the activities of the extremist faction of the Congress. Well, that having said aside, you see, kept aside, we see that the Muslim League was initially formed, which was formed in 1906, of course, under Aga Khan. We have a different video, separate video for the rise of Muslim League also, you can check that out, all right. Now, the British, you see, they actively supported the Muslim League. Now, this argument also buttresses, okay, or this fact also buttresses this argument that it was actually done to weaken the nationalist movement, which was centered around Calcutta. Calcutta, had become, or Bengal, you see, when talking about Calcutta, we'll have to talk about the entirety of Bengal. Bengal had become a hotbed of nationalism in India, and therefore, you see, to weaken the nationalism which was brewing in Bengal, and chiefly in the city of Calcutta, this division was made so that, you see, administratively divided people, it was assumed that this administratively divided people along religious line, they would not be able to come together, okay, they would not be able to come together and go forward with the nationalist, you see, movement, okay. However, they were very wrong in their calculation, all right, because we see that the immediate fallout of the, you see, partition of Bengal was the great Swadeshi movement. And you see, it is with the Swadeshi movement that the entire modality of the Congress will become, you see, will achieve a different height, because it is with the Swadeshi movement that boycott for the first time is employed, okay, at a large scale. For the first time, boycott is employed. Extremism finds a new, you see, a solid base of solid ideological base and solid working ground, okay. With the partition of Bengal, Swadeshi movement provides a solid ground of work for the extremists. Along with them comes the boycott modality. The relevance of the moderates go, you see, go away, okay. The relevance of the moderates which they as yet had, it just goes away with the start of the Swadeshi movement, and therefore this is the lasting legacy of the partition of Bengal, that is the independence of India. You can even say that with the Swadeshi movement, you see, the radical form of protest against foreign or alien rule in India, it begins, okay. We see that the Swadeshi movement, of course, was not, you see, successful. Why? Because it petered out with the arrest of Tilak, with the, you see, with Lala Lajpat Rai, you see, not leading the revolt anymore, rebellion anymore, and you see, with the division among the nationalist and moderate and extremist line, the Swadeshi movement, it peters out. We know that. However, for the first time, you see, the groundwork has been laid for Gandhi to come in, all right, and start his, you see, Satyagraha modality, the new modality of protest against alien rule in India. Therefore, the partition of Bengal, it is very important. In the second part of this video, we will go into the Swadeshi movement. We will discuss the particulars of the Swadeshi movement, how it begins, you see, what is the course of this movement, okay, how it goes on, what were the modalities that were employed, and various institutions that come up. There were, you see, part of the boycott, you see, agenda was also that, well, let me write it down. Along with boycott, you see, if you boycott something, you have to provide an alternative also. Suppose, you see, if you are criticizing an argument, you also have to provide an alternative argument. Otherwise, your criticism is, you see, founded without a base, all right. So, therefore, if you boycott something, you also have to provide an alternative. The alternative was Swadeshi, okay. The alternative itself was Swadeshi, that is produced by self, all right, that is self-reliance, all right. Self-reliance was the entire modality through which, boycott and self-reliance was the entire modality through which this entire event unfolds, that is the Swadeshi movement. Very important for your exam perspective. So, please have a look at the second part of this video, okay, which will be coming up soon. Thank you.